Welcome to Retired for Life. I'm your host, Brian. I retired a few years ago after 30 years in a factory job as a machinist in a millwright. I needed to rediscover what life could really be like. When we purchased this property, the house had stood empty for over a year, and the property had been badly ravaged by poor logging practices. Since my retirement, I've been working to renovate the home and restore the surrounding forest to its natural beauty and attract wildlife back to the property. Join me as I learn about nature and working with wood to create the backdrop for this new chapter of our lives. Well, hello YouTube, and welcome back to Retired for Life. So today is June 25th. So on June 21st, we had an electrical storm come through here, the likes I have never seen before. For probably 45 minutes, the sky was constantly lit up. And this was somewhere around 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was just non-stop light. And we got a fair bit of rain. We got some decent wind, but fortunately for us, the wind was not extreme. So we did not suffer any serious damage here at all. Now, throughout the property, I've got a number of trees down, but nothing came down on top of anything. The storage domes, the house, the shop, everything survived the storm pretty much unscathed. The only issue I've got is I've got a few trees down, and a couple of them are across the trail. And one or two are a decent size. So we are going to go out and start taking care of that today. And we're going to take the Husqvarna 455 Rancher with us. Now, this is my biggest chainsaw. It is by no means a big chainsaw. There are a lot bigger ones. But for me, this one is doing the job. So let's talk a bit about the specifications of this chainsaw before we get going with it. So this chainsaw came with a 20-inch bar. It's got a 3/8 inch pitch chain on it. One of the things that I really like about this saw is it has a decompression button on the top here. So when you're about to start the chainsaw, you push in the decompression button, go to work on it, get it running, and that decompression button automatically pops back out. You don't need to worry about it again. One of the other things I like about this saw is it has these felling dogs here on the front. And I'll show you just what they do once we get out there and start on our first tree. So this isn't a lightweight saw. It's a decent sized motor in it, and that means it also has a decent sized weight to it. So this saw comes in at 7 kilograms or 15.5 pounds. So it's not a lightweight. The motor in it is a 55.5 cc motor, and it puts out 3.5 horsepower. And it is a 2-stroke motor, so it runs on a mixture of 50-to-1 gas and oil. And if you're looking to find out all the specs and information on a chainsaw like this, your manual is a great place to go. Save that manual. There's some very good information there, and in a lot of cases there's even some basic information as to how to use the chainsaw safely. Now, it's not going to cover all the situations that you get into with your chainsaw, so you need to be careful what you're doing. And a great place to go to find different types of cuts, how to handle different types of trees, leaning trees, that type of thing, is YouTube. And YouTube is also a great place to go to see people that have done some really crazy things with the chainsaw. Now, your manual does have a lot of cautionary things in it, what not to do with your chainsaw. And this is one of the things not to do with your chainsaw. This is actually in the manual. That's pretty crazy. Don't do that. All right, let's get our gear loaded up and we're gonna head out to the first tree that we've got down that we're gonna have a look at. Now, it's a birch tree. It's a reasonable size, which is why I wanna take this chainsaw with us. All right, let's get suited up and get rolling. There's our tree right there, that birch tree. All right, let's get set up and we'll take care of it. The reason we're out here for this one, it's not across the trail or anything, but it will make decent firewood and my neighbor wants it. All right, so it's no big surprise that this tree came down. It's been dead for a little while. I just haven't bothered to do anything with it. But now that it's down, we're gonna take advantage of it. This is a really good tree to use as a demonstration for the Husqvarna Rancher 455. All right, let's get set up. So this is a good sized tree to be using to show you what the Rancher can do. All right, so it's already warmed up. We're gonna get things running and then we're gonna cut this off just above where this one branch had broken off here. Now, part of the trick with this, with trees laying on the ground, is it's got a big clearance underneath it, so it is going to want to drop and pinch your bar. So you got to be pretty careful about that. Always a good idea to have a couple of wedges with you. And be sure to watch out where your feet are because this thing's going to drop. Just like that. So that works very nicely to prevent this thing from pinching on your chainsaw. And they're plastic. Sometimes you're going to nick them. They're an expendable item. All right, let's take a little closer look as to how these cleats work that are on the chainsaw. We'll cut another piece off of this. All right, folks, so you can see here where these cleats are, or dogs, or whatever you want to call them. So once you're into doing something like this, where you're up close, these are really nice to have when you're bucking up a tree and that type of thing. Not so much when you're doing small trimming and whatnot, because you're not usually going to be up that tight against the body of the chainsaw. So I'm going to start the chainsaw up, and you'll see how I can push these cleats up against the tree and use them to lever the blade down into the tree. All right, let's try it. I'm actually just doing this one-handed. These cleats work so nicely. It makes it really easy to do this. And there we are. So is the 455 Rancher the right chainsaw for you? Depends. You got to think about what it is you're going to be doing with your saw. So a couple of suggestions for you to think about. One, don't get stuck on a brand. There are lots of different manufacturers out there. Some are better, some are not. A lot of them are pretty much the same. I bought this particular chainsaw because it was the right size for what I wanted, and it was on sale. So how do you figure out size? Again, it depends on what it is you're doing. Now, if you've got a property like I've got here, and you're not harvesting logs off of it kind of thing, and you're dealing with something, say about 10 to 18 inches, then yeah, this is a really nice size saw for that. It's not too big, it is reasonably powerful, and it will, on occasion, handle much bigger trees that you might come across that you do need to do something with. Now, if you're mostly dealing with trees that are, I'd say roughly 12 inches in diameter and down, like 12 inches being your large size, maybe you don't need a chainsaw this big. The other saw that I've got is the Stihl MS-162. Now, you've seen me do a review on it. Now, it's about a third less horsepower and about half the weight. So, much easier to handle. I use that saw when I'm doing a lot of trimming and that type of thing because it is a much lighter saw. So again, you've got to keep in mind what it is you want to do with your chainsaw. Take the time to do your research. Great place to do it is right here on YouTube, looking at videos like this one. And there are other people out there who have got all kinds of experience that will give you a better idea as to what kind of chainsaw you need and how to use it. That's the big trick. Be careful. If you're new to cutting with a chainsaw, have a look at your manual. As I said earlier, there's a lot of great safety tips in there and some basic cutting techniques. But if you're in doubt, don't do it. Get some help. Take the time to learn what it is you need to know in order to operate something like this. You slip with this, it's not going to be clean. It's going to be messy. So be careful out there. So what do I think of this particular chainsaw, the 455 Rancher? I think it's a great machine. It's got the options that I want on it. It's the size that I want. It works really well. I have had no issues with it whatsoever. Just remember to keep your chain oil filled and keep your chain sharp. All right, folks, that's going to be it for our review of the Husqvarna Rancher 455. I hope you found the video interesting and maybe even a little bit helpful. So if you've got any thoughts, comments, suggestions, anything like that, please be sure to leave me a comment. I always get back to everybody who leaves comments, and I appreciate your feedback. So remember to stay safe out there, folks. Be good to each other, and we will see you out on the trails the next time.
I've always dirtied everything that I found. This ain't no difference, look at you now. And baby, cut yourself loose. Save all the things that I said that night. Playing it cool, but I never got it right. Baby, cut yourself, baby, cut yourself.